I mean, and
Absolutely.
like the amazing
Ooh,
about
look at
that
that
is
trophy.
that MVP this is their first FPP event.
Yeah.
My understanding,
Yeah.
and they're already 7th.
Yeah.
OG and Ensis, they did have Kiev to kind of practice in this mode, in this format, but they're still at 6 already after only one LAN event before. So Korea especially are really turning up when this is a completely different game mode from what they're used to.
Well, and this is kind of the thing that surprised me the most about OG and Entis is that they are not only just they're placing high, but they're also remedying the thing that they were lacking from that last tournament, and that is the kill count.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see them currently with 31 kills. Obviously not in the stratosphere with these other guys,
58.
but 31 definitely respectable, and it's definitely
Absolutely.
improvement upon their previous performances. So
Yeah, that's true.
at least halfway through this tournament. So if that's something that they can kind of keep putting themselves in positions and keep consistent with, and maybe they might find themselves with one of these games where they go off for 11 or 12 kills. I think it's entirely possible.
Oh, yeah. You guys are talking about this like we're done, okay?
Oh,
I'm
no.
talking EU United. How many people are in this game? 65 or whatever?
64, yeah.
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 What if they kill 60 of them? It could happen.
What, they killed themselves as well? Like
One of them?
60.
They're not Kristoffs. Like.
Well, you know. They could accidentally pop one of themselves. If you kill a teammate, is that a kill?
Yep.
No.
Oh, that'd be a sick meta, dude.
At the very
At
end.
the beginning, you kill 3 of them, you're like, I got you, boys. And then you're going in. I like it. All right.
Oh my god.
I'm going to go find a new victim. I've run out
Yeah?
of things to talk about. You
Well,
guys
we got about 5 more minutes. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
so
great.
you got plenty of time
Thank
to go.
goodness.
One more guy.
To go bug
more
the
guy.
crap
Give
out of
us one more.
somebody.
Yeah,
So.
give
Get
us
somebody
a good-
who's dead in the scrims who's got about 5 minutes. Perfect.
So okay, I think you what did we touch? Who haven't we touched on yet? All right, let's talk about
who haven't we touched yet?
who haven't we who haven't we aggressed upon yet? So
Not roasting.
I think one of we already
TSM.
we have talked about. That is definitely so. Two things to talk about, right?
Yep.
TSM pretty much doing what they always do in LANs, at least in PUBG. They're hanging out in that 8 to 10 spot. They had a couple of really good performances yesterday, which I think bodes well for how they might do today.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel?
This is already better, their current standing right now.
Yeah.
And they did peak at 6 before.
Yeah.
Which is by far better than it ever performed on a LAN environment beforehand. So I think it's already working out. They're already figuring out some stuff.
I
But
remember you.
Hang on. Well, we talk about TSM. Here's Pajama Inata, the guy from yesterday.
No. This is Pokemon.
Oh, this is Pokemon. There
An
you go.
octave. No.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Mourinho baited me so hard. He said, no, it's Pokemon and an octave. They speak English. And then they bring one guy. I was like, it's Pokemon, right? Oh, it's okay.
So just
Great.
so we're certain,
Pajama Inata.
what is your name, good sir?
My name is Anactive.
Anuctive.
Yep.
Anuctive. And he's
So
on
it's
Groovy.
Anuctive. It's not Pokemon.
Groovy.
He's groovy.
And
something
groovy.
else sometimes.
So guys, first place going into day 3 with 58 kills, kill lead. This feels great, right?
Of
you
course,
have to be feeling
it
very
feels great.
good.
Feels good, man.
Feels good, man. Feels
Monkas.
good.
Yep.
Monkas. Feels good. So, whoa,
Go ahead. Well, speaking of monkas, are you
Yep.
guys
Monkas.
afraid though?
No,
I mean,
we are not afraid.
not afraid.
No,
No.
Zaruski, man.
No fear.
When you're killing literally anybody who comes into contact with you, it's pretty hard to be afraid. Yeah.
all right. I'll take that. Sure.
How is the adaptation? Because we were talking yesterday to Pajama Inata.
Ah,
Oh.
That's correct.
And yes.
Yes.
And they were telling us that it wasn't necessarily so hard to adapt with you. Because you kind of have a similar playstyle, but there's some different ideas, and you as well coming in with some ideas to the IGL there. Are you blending in correctly now? Do you think it's a perfect
I
match?
think. well, okay. My goal is to just blend in. I don't want to make them do something that we do in Avantgarde,
Yeah.
because it will.
Then they'll steal that.
It will,
no,
it will mix things up, and we
Yeah.
will probably do something weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to
Just
do
keep it
what the
quiet.
captain says, and I think we blend okay together.
Just Nibaltai and that's
Yup.
Okay.
Just
What?
do whatever captain
I'm
says.
American.
God.
I don't speak other
Yeah,
language.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Worldwide over here has
Keeping
to drop
quiet.
his
Keeping quiet.
language knowledge
Come
yet
on.
again.
All right.
Make us all feel inferior. But
Sorry for being European,
but-
bro.
That's true. That's true. I speak like 10 words of broken Spanish, and that's about
That's-
it.
yeah.
Can barely handle English
Ice
on
can't
the
even
best of
speak
days.
English.
Yeah,
Big
Thanks.
day.
also true.
Anyway.
So going into this day 3, currently in the top of the leaderboards, currently in the top of kills. Is there how are you talking to the team? How's the team feeling? Is there you just kind of wanting to stay consistent? Do you look at the scoreboard? Do you feel confident, or do you just want to not even think about
We're
it?
just playing our game. We don't really look at leaderboard. Yesterday we had some bad games. Like we had 2 games when we get 16 and 11 place, and that's because two of our teammates died mid-game. So when we are 4 alive to the end of the game, we are probably taking some top 5 places. So we are not worried. Gonna play our game and probably gonna get. Probably gonna
120
place
plus
some
kills.
good places.
120 plus. Well, okay. Yeah, he wants you to play. He wants you to have 120 plays. He's got a lot riding on you.
Frag out,
But
killing people, it's perfect.
I am getting it in my ear that we do need you in game because we're
Oh,
about
sure.
to get
All
started.
right,
so
all right.
thank you so much for
thank
coming
you.
once
Thank you.
again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a feeling we'll.
Thank you. He's shaking everybody's hand.
we'll do
What a
it later.
nice
Look,
guy.
I'll get you one of the next 2 or 3 games that you win.
Ah.
Y'all
Just
have-
just 2 or
It's
3?
starting.
just 2 or 3.
Just
you
2 or
never
3,
know.
that's it.
So okay,
Yeah, they're
so
starting, yeah.
so we are filling into the lobby right now. They're about to get started. So guys, going into this game 3 or day 3, rather, who are your eyes on? Do you think that this top 4, this top 5 will be the same at the end of this day, or do you feel that there's going to be some shifting?
I hope there's going to be shit.
I
Yeah,
hope
there
they're
will be.
shifting, but
Yeah.
it's rough because there's a 700 gap between 5 and 6.
There will be. There will be
Um,
some shifts.
There's obviously going to be shifts, especially
shifts
with
among the top
between
5.
them. Yeah, definitely going to be shifts within the top 5. The big question is anyone from 6 and down going to be able to get into that? Because that's a wide gap. That's the widest gap amongst every placement here, and so that's going to be rule for a lot of them.
So if you had to, I'll put this to you, Avenger. If you had to pick any of these teams that are below the top 5, who do you like to have just a breakout day and maybe break into that top 5?
A personal preference, or what do you expect?
So, I mean, not maybe what. I guess personal preference is the.
I'd like to see Ensis frag
Yeah,
now.
Ensis,
Yeah, 100%. They're also the most likely, obviously, being at 6th, but
They're also the most likely with their playstyle.
they're the most
That's
likely
the
with the playstyle.
They're managing to get late.
They're so good at adapting. We just see they're gonna adapt all the way through, and I think the Korean teams are the teams that we're gonna see improving the fastest day to day, and not just from LAN to LAN. And I think that's what we're gonna see today. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Everybody sticking with that, or who
No.
you got? Slacks.
Slacks.
I like
Slacks.
the snakes. The snake boys.
You like the Schnecks?
Snakes TC.
No, no snap. No
I
snap
like
on
them.
snack.
I don't know anything about them, but I like their name. It looks like the
You don't-
Triple X logo. And
It
I
looks
like
like the Triple X logo, dude.
That is
It
pretty
is
dope.
the Triple
I
X
don't know.
logo.
I gotta be real. I
Did you-
really want E United up there, though. I feel like they look sad. They look hungry. They think they can do
Yeah.
better. I want to see
They
that
think
60.
they think they can do better.
So
Toxic,
toxic.
toxic
I'm not
EU
toxic.
shines
That's
yet
toxic.
again.
I want to see
Turn
them
around,
get
son.
some
You're getting
kills.
smacked.
I think
No,
it's
no, not
possible.
on
I
camera,
think it's
man.
possible for United to get top 5 tomorrow. But the gap is to close that gap. No matter how well they perform, I think it's going to be a miracle if they can get the top 5 after today. But they can definitely if they can start playing the game that we
get the
know they can
top
play,
10.
they can definitely set themselves up to then climb into top 5 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stranger things have indeed happened. But Slacks, I gotta say, I'm not at all surprised that Snake is your pick, given how much just screaming and
Hell yeah.
yelling and over the topness I keep hearing coming from that corner of the room. Oh, you go. So it looks like we're actually loading into Spawn Island. So, Cammy,
Yeah.
who did you have? You had? Did you have OGN?
OGN or TSM, I think, are
TSM?
the two that my eyes are on.
Ooh,
TSM
yeah.
have been looking a lot more comfortable with their playstyle at this event so
Yep.
far. I know I said that right. I'm just repeating myself.
No.
And so if they can continue to pick it up and continue to get more comfortable with each other and actually start, playing a solid game together, then I think that they as well as OGN are the two best chance of getting top 5.
Gotcha. Okay, last question. We're about to load in. 13 seconds left. Avenger, out of that top 5, who do you think is most likely to not be there at the end of the day?
I fear it's Kingwin. I don't want it to, but I think that they could be one of the top 5 or top 4 teams that isn't there after today. But I want them to be there.
Yeah.
But I
Well-
think Groovy, FaZe, and Vitality, they're just stamped hardcore in the top 5 because they also have a 400-point lead to the 4th place. So.
Vitality, though, they've had a couple of games that have gone out very early.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
but
We're going
doesn't
in,
matter.
boys. We're going in. Here's the start of day 3. Cammy, Boogie, have fun, boys.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. Welcome straight into it,
Thanks,
guys.
Dad.
It is indeed the PGL Spring Invitational. Finally, the wafting of the talking is over. We're getting ready to get dirty into the game. It's going to be, of course, a range out throughout the day. It's going to be a good show, so welcome straight in there, Twitch chat. We love you guys, and we're happy to have you tag along to the stories of these pros wrecking house today, Cami.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is a very nice plane to start us off. It makes Kameshki and Stalber a little far. Yosnaya is a little tricky as well, and so a couple of those teams up at the Upper East side, looking at MVP and Yosnaya, TSM, we saw Break go to Kameshki earlier. And so it's maybe a little difficult if they want to continue that, but it actually looks like they are going to North George. They're avoiding all of that nonsense. They're not bothering with a long drop at all. They're going to go to North George. But so are United. Looks like a couple of mix-ups and drop patterns at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, United seem to be going for a vehicle first off, and they might be going on to their more eastern approach. It looks like they're going to be able to loot that place without any kind of care in the world. They don't know that TSM particularly is in North Georgia, of course, so maybe they will be sticking around to the area. It looks like they will be going somewhere around that part. In the meantime, looking somewhere else on the map, it's the same old good old split. All the teams trying to make their way into their looting grounds, and as they do that, a circle will appear in just a few seconds. But yeah, there you go. Secret with their farm adjustment doesn't work out so far, it seems here. It makes for harder rotations for them, and you can see already that it's hurting them in the standings. They're currently on the 13th spot here.
Yeah, that's usually been a factor of them. Once they get into the position, they actually get pushed, and they've been struggling trying to defend themselves. But look at this first circle, exact opposite of the plane, which isn't necessarily bad. It actually makes it kind of even, because the players that are having a long drop, Sun Sister and MVP are the two that are, and LGD are the ones that have the longest rotations, don't have to then leave it early. So it is make it a little difficult for everyone across the board, which evens out naturally. But yeah. Going to Yosnaya, MVP, got a couple of cards as well, so this is going to give them a lot of options. I'm actually really liking this. I hope they don't stick around, because we saw just what happens when you hang around in Yosnaya.
Yep, we do indeed. Well, let's find out what happens with this circle, though. In Yosnaya yesterday, there seemed to be a bit of a difficulty for all those teams. I specifically remember Entis Ace rotating around from where the circle actually ended to go into the middle of the circle that was currently on, and that was a bit unlucky. Yeah, everybody that tried to leave Yosnaya actually got absolutely bodied. So perhaps this time around we're going to be able to see teams not particularly take on towns, because they know how hard it is to exit them once you have to leave with everyone else. And yeah, it usually ends up in a bad mix-up. It usually ends up in all the teams getting absolutely bodied, whilst the other ones that stayed outside the town stay alive and kicking. And, well, Siege with the long drop here. I'll be hoping for a vehicle. He's got a buggy down there, you can see. Let's see where his teammates are. I don't know. It looks like Zero Town actually has a vehicle of his own as well, so they're going to be making their way eastern. And, well, this area is actually not being so taken so far. It looks like LGD is going to be going for a Kameshki Stalber.
Yeah, they're going way north.
They're setting themselves up for some positional / looting.
Well, it's definitely good for them. It's a really good position in this current circle. It's pretty central, so it's going to allow for good rotations, very quick rotations where the next circle goes. And they were able to recognize that TSM weren't long dropping with them. And so they said, hey, you know, this place is entirely free for us. We don't have to worry about the position of TSM or E United surrounding us. So we have this entire place open. They're going all the way north to Kameshki as well, trying to stay as isolated as possible, trying to avoid any conflict until as late into the game as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Might be joined up by FaZe a bit later on if FaZe do decide to make their rotate to the gas station that is currently northwest of the circle. Normally they do that going on a wide right flank. We'll see if that happens later on, indeed. Anyway, in the meantime, we see, of course, Sun Sister still doing an interesting split. One of them is in Jarki, another one in shooting range, and there you go, Crazy Sam with another teammate of his own in Severny. Here it seems that Sun Sister have been doing better than expected, Cameron. I'm actually enjoying watching these guys fight, and I was a bit sad yesterday when a couple of the games they got unfortunately breached in for no good reason.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate when that happens, but hopefully they're using that and kind of allow themselves to adapt and be able to hold those positions even stronger. Right now, though, TSM actually the very first on rotation is really quick for them, which makes sense because they were one of the first ones to drop down. But Vis and Smack already on a bug. It's a little bit of a dangerous rotation and potentially driving a little close to Sun Sister, but Vis is doing good diligence and actually driving up around that, avoiding contact as much as possible. Going to get into the circle. I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere around Stalber, not on the actual top of it, but around the base, north of Yosnaya, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, looks like Maul's here. It's going to be looted up quite easily. So he's got a level 3 helmet, level 2 a vest, whilst an M4 sits on his back as well as a
This
mini.
is my favorite. This is my favorite kit, actually. What he has is a sniper with the 4X and then an M4 with the red dot.
Some might challenge to say that the mini is not reliable anymore.
Not that's why I said sniper.
Hence the buff. Yeah,
Any sniper with a 4X is fine. I'm not good at them either way.
I'm happy with the mini, man.
Yep.
Yeah, mini guys in chat, show me some love, bros. I know it's not an all-time favorite. I know some people love the SKS as well. But yeah, SKS dance game mini seems good, I guess, for me. At least. There you go. Team Snake, a team that has been trying to improve as well. You can see little tiny adaptations as well from the first day into yesterday as well. We'll see if they kind of adapt to the game style of the other teams today, or if they kind of keep at, aggression going forward. There's been some tiny adjustments, as you saw yesterday in the final 2 games that we casted, Cameron. We saw them take smarter fights, smarter peaks, doing better. Larson just...
yeah, he just downed himself. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he just...
Oh,
there
he
we
fell
go.
over. That's fine. It was a bike.
Rip GG. That's all right. His teammates are close. They're going to get the res on him. It's all good. He's a bush in the meantime. Nobody knows he's there. He's got absolutely no problem in the world. There comes Gaxi and Miracle. They might not spot him. No, I'm just kidding. He's fine.
The problem is with this is that
that
it's a minor point. Oh, yeah, that actually may be a little bit of a problem.
Dangerous. That is dangerous, man.
Well, we'll see if that becomes anything. But the biggest problem is the fact that it has nothing to do with the res timer, though that is obviously could be impactful later on. It's also the fact that they had to stop to res him, and he was out first, trying to gain priority on a compound. United were just barely ahead of them, as well as Snake, but they had to stop and delay themselves, and now they've lost all priority that they had from leaving as early as they did, and they may actually want to decide to just stay on the edge at this point.
Absolutely. In the meantime, United making their way into the circle as well. Close by to Kingwood, it seems here. They will be meeting up, but no exchange will happen. Most likely, they are going to be rotating into the first circle. There's no point to see any early on fights. However, Cameron has spotted something, and he's jumping around here. What's going on, Cameron?
I'm spotting Vis and Smack. They're going further than I imagined them. They didn't expect LGD to take over the territory that they gave up with this plane path.
Now. Doors are open.
Yeah, so they've been able to spot it out, but it's something they need to be aware about and need to, basically keep in mind that they're not alone on this side. It is a good decision to go on this side because, as you saw on the map earlier, everyone's around there. But paying from MVP, he's getting a little bit of love from Snake, taking some damage as well as his vehicle. They're pushing up to see if they can't catch some more quick shots over the crest of that hill. But it's really just some love taps.
That's it. Now, we saw the circle yesterday as well. And I want to talk about United for a moment because it was a kind of similar circle, and it didn't necessarily work out well for United. What happened to them was they had to rotate west past Stalber, and they usually we've been talking to them, and they usually take the Stalber hills, and that doesn't necessarily work out nicely for them every time because when they have to rotate west, it's usually a very hard time. This time around, though, they might have to rotate on the east side. That might be where the circle ends. We'll find out later on if it does or not. In the meantime, Miracle and Vard in their little UAZ followed suit by Gaxi and Larson close by. They're going to be making their way, or actually Gaxi's in front. They're going to be making their way into the circle, but look at this. It's already getting pretty crowded in there. What is SSG doing with Grubby, though?
Yeah, actually, I was looking on the map earlier. It looked like they were actually chasing them down to see if they couldn't catch them on the rotation out to punish them further.
SSG, man.
Yeah, we saw them stay in those hills and punish them on the rotation. They got in their vehicles and actually tried to drive into Primorsk. Luckily for Gruby, their rotation was just fast enough to avoid it, but that could have been very interesting if it did work up at SSG, and I really like the thought process behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. Yesterday we had a game where SSG actually particularly stayed into the blue to catch off Grubby just to get those free kills. Benchu gets absolutely benched by Vard, it seems. Lushed out of his two-seater buggy. That's a rip GG, and Kinkard are going to have a loot infusion here. Not that they necessarily needed. They had Sojo for looting, so they're going to be quite pleased with what they got so far. Are they going to keep on looting that body, though? You can rest assured they will.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, it is a little out in the open, so it's kind of risky, but no one else
chasing
around
Grubby.
them.
They know their rotations. This is okay. So look at this. Look at the bottom left of the map there. SSG, where they're moving in, that's not normally where they rotate onto a northwest circle. But this time, because they know that Grubby likes to go first north and then east, they're literally chasing them. This is a bit of a statement that these guys are like, we don't like them Russians. We got to take them down early on.
Not all Americans sound like that.
I don't know what you're talking about here, but yes, we got ATMs that you can use from inside the car is what I learned this morning. You guys use
Do we?
ATMs from inside the freaking car.
Do we?
You lazy
I have never heard of that.
mofos.
TSM take a little bit of damage in the rotation. They do stay alive, and I believe it was OGN lost a member. So that's the first 2 down. And this is a nice crate to start us off. This is really close to TSM as well. So this could help them out. They're close to LGD though, so I want to make sure that they don't overextend to get this. They do have across the road to do so, so it could be some open shots, which is why they may decide to not go after it after all.
Yeah. Look at FaZe's late rotation. That's actually just going to be Mixie late rotation. Interestingly enough, he's going to be taking the boat himself, but when he makes it late into the place where the rest of FaZe is, he won't necessarily have any kind of cars. So look at the rest of FaZe actually taking on the coastline, waiting for him to appear, and then they're probably going to move in. What FaZe know at this moment in time is that they're not the first ones in the circle. They're pretty sure that they're the last ones in. Well, they're amongst the last ones in, and they're correct to assume that. And because of it, they cannot push the center strat. But later on to the game, we're going to be watching how they rotate into the following circles, and that's pretty much the beauty of FaZe. The way they move is just sublime.
Yeah, absolutely. They never come in first, just partly because Milta Power is so far out. They can never really ever reasonably make it in first if they want good loot.
Good guys don't come in first.
Yeah, it's true. You kind of wait for other people to go in first and clear the way for you. Makes it not come in. OMG tanking the blue a little bit. Groovy and SSG, we were looking at that earlier. SSG with a very interesting rotation chasing after Groovy. They did have a little bit of car-to-car warfare, but nothing much came of it. And so everyone else, aside from those 2 unfortunate souls that we lost earlier on in the game, are going to be alive. And this next circle is going to stay on the west side.
Here's FaZe already driving into it. He's empty first one up on the very east coast.
Standard rotation up the top. The question is LGD going to be waiting for them? Because this is quite expected. TJW is getting a vehicle already, as his teammate next door.
So we called it earlier on. We said that LGD like to push north and then go west all the way from the top side. They might be taking the gas station where Entices is actually close by. Is actually in, rather. We'll see if they push so far or not. But what we didn't know, and that's the smart thing that FaZe did, is that they didn't do it first circle. They're going to be doing it now. And that's smart because LGD have removed themselves from their current spot. TM, in the meantime, are going to be finding themselves a very good compound here. It's very easy to defend. It's very clear all around. You won't be able to get surprised, but look at them put some shots in there. Them and Grubby and Vitality as well in a bit of a duel here. And it looks like, well, the ones that are for the worst is Vitality and Grubby losing members as well.
That is really bad for a lot of these players. Groovy and Vitality, I didn't see exactly what happened. They both were going for the top of this hill, which is a decent position, but they were both hitting each other, and then Tainted Minds there at the bottom, send out a couple of shots of their own. A little bit of overextension on that angle hurt both of those teams, Vitality and Groovy, and so I believe, okay, Groovy are still 4 alive.
Yep.
I think Vitality lost 2.
1 guy or 2 guys. Yep, absolutely. That is unfortunate. Now, what you see here where Grubby are, they're not going to be moving and challenging TM at this moment in time. These are 2 different spots. Compounds, if you will, call them that, because they're 2 places where pro teams usually like to defend from. They will be checking each other out. They will be holding on to the angles, but they won't get pushed in. TM will not get pushed in. If anything, TM could potentially push into Grubby, but there's no reason to do that just yet. We'll have a look at Vitality later on. In the meantime, we see Smack getting himself knocked out by SST. And they're going to attempt to finish him by exploding the car. That is so unfortunate. The buggy literally went down to where Smack was, giving Sabrak some sort of an opportunity to close in the puzzle and take his enemy down, and that he did indeed. Rest of TSM are not going to go anywhere near there. But Grubby's getting pushed in by Ghost, and it looks like Balak has the first good shot there. Pokemon gets knocked out. Those smokes are going to be definitely helping out Grubby right now.
Absolutely, but Ghost laying out smokes of their own because they know that Tainted Minds are just down that hill, which is why we see them not pushing in on Groovy, because Tainted Minds, Extrude actually takes that kill. So Groovy do finally actually lose a full member because of that fight from Ghost, but Ghost are pulling back because they know that they can't reasonably force onto that position without taking many casualties of their own.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a spot that you want to be in. It's widely open. You can get flanked easily. Henceforth, why you want to move out of it. Now, Circle is strangling now. Teams are making their way in. And look at this. FaZe are indeed going for the top side. Maybe not gas station. Maybe they'll hang around the compound side. We'll find out later on. In the meantime, SST and TSM are going to be in a bit of a battle. And always rotations seem to be difficult for TSM. But at least this time around, they don't need to move out. They have a piece of the pie.
A little bit, but it's just on the edge. And depending on where the next circle goes, that may not be good enough. And SST, they're definitely going to have to rotate. TSM are definitely going to have to rotate through them. But Gabba, a little bit of an unexpected position. to TSM apparently, because they reveal themselves in a couple of really good shots thrown out by him. They already lost Smack. They want to make sure that they don't lose anyone else because it's way too early to receive more casualties.
Here's the good part about Stalber here, though, especially on the north side there. You can make a rotation without being seen. So there you go. Break.
Yeah.
Brick is going to be jumping around there, going to the Dacia. It's going to be healing up a bit. They're going to be able to exit this area without any direct contact with SSD further in. We'll see if that one happens later on. Perhaps wherever they go, actually. If we have a look at the map for a second, if we open up the map, we'll see that there's actually no chance for TSM to penetrate too far. They actually could they go anywhere? Yeah, they would. They would have a chance between Secret and SSG.
Yeah.
Or say Sun Sister. We'll see if they do get a chance at that. In the meantime, we see one of the guys from Sun Sister actually going for a
Yeah, they really want
peek.
to do this. Sun Sister really want to punish TSM for being caught out in the corner like this. They don't want to let them go free.
Looks it indeed.
Circle's closing right now, so we only got a couple more moments where we see where these teams have to rotate.
There we go. So TSM could potentially go towards Secret and then kind of juke it around MVP and Secret, but they're pretty happy with where they are. TSM don't necessarily need to move too much. However, Crazy Sam is already on the top side there, trying to push shots into TSM.
Yeah.
And, well, they're going to be forced to go on a very wide rotate to the southeast. Look at the southeast. It is so open. Anybody could get into that one without any kind of care in the world. FaZe, in the meantime, are going to have to be moving out quite soon, and now they're taking shots at Entas Ace. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the frags, but I know that they forced Tamaria down by the beach side into the water, which is a bit of an unfortunate moment. He's going to have to be picked off right now.
Yeah, this is really bad for Entis. They're not losing any of their players, but it's going to be a long rotation. They lost their vehicles in the car, at least a couple of them. A few of them are still up, but now they're going to have to walk the rest of the way out open. Luckily for them, FaZe aren't sticking around just to hold them, but Secret aren't too far off down the coast, so they could be punished from that direction as well.
Uh-oh, Sungkyang is going straight into the hands of Team Secret. Looks to be stopping a bit earlier on, so that's okay, I suppose. But SSG and Kingwin are going to be in battle. Hatred, first one to take casualty, and it looks like the rest of SSG have completely given up on this one. Vardy's going to be closing the deal, getting the kill, and that's going to be about all she wrote. FaZe close by, though, might have heard the shots from Vard.
They actually pulled away, and they're having to make a long rotation. They're deciding to make a long rotation on the south side. They're able to recognize just how packed the east side of this next zone is, because that is the direction that most teams have come from. You pointed out earlier that TSM have that southeast side to deal with. OMG just now moving in.
FaZe and Vitality. This might be it. Oh, but Vitality is busy moving out. Monkey and Shiv on the same old bike.
They know they can't hold this.
They know they cannot take the fight as well, but what they don't know is that FaZe is going to be potentially driving them over. No, not necessarily. Vitality is going to be swapping places with FaZe, and this might be the end of them actually, because they're going onto that east coast, which is very, very occupied. It's very heavy with teams right now. Grubby as well, taking some weird rotations. Everybody's going everywhere except for where the circle lies, but FaZe have a good idea from where to penetrate, and where they're going, there's nobody there.
Yeah, but it's going to be a very tight squeeze there. You can see just how packed the edges are, because the mountain of Stalber makes the center position a little difficult to get to. And so a lot of teams are just sticking around the edge, but that just means that it's a little bit of a wall that these teams have to find their way through. Vitality now on the bike, bombing through. Entis taking some shots, landing a couple of them. But they are going to be safe for now. They just have to worry that they don't fall into someone else. SSG actually taking their own shots. Almost takes out Monkey.
Somehow Vitality make their way inside the circle. They're not going to be too bothered moving at any point in time right now. In the meantime, TM Tainted Minds are pushing against Snake, and they're quite close to them. Gonna crush the head of the Snake. Let's see if they're the men that will achieve that performance or not. In the meantime, Entas will head again towards Team Secret, this time probably contesting them as well. But SSG have spotted Grubby in the meantime, and they're putting Shade to 1 HP. He's almost taken out. Oh, but he peeks out, and Vexel makes quick work out of him. That USC is going to blow up as well. Shade won't die due to it, but Pajama Inada and Anuctive won't be able to get the res either, and now they're being held back. Smurf spots Anuctive, puts a shot on him, and that's about all she wrote. Anuctive is really over-peaking, really overstaying his welcome here.
He's trying to run out. He does get over the hill to avoid more bullets, but PG on his own is kind of stuck behind, potentially waiting to see if they back off to then maybe get a revive, but it's quite ambitious of one. Extrude also falls in this fight on Snake. Snake caught them pushing up from behind. As now Joshi and Subset are going to have to figure out what they can do to kind of turn this into their favor or retreat. Taking a lot of damage. Now they're going to push up because they have FaZe coming up not far behind them. FaZe in a little bit of a fight with another team right now. He's actually going to finish off Extrude. Secret and Entis are in a fight as well as Groovy as Kingwin, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of top tier teams in a very, very small area. Let's see what TM decide to do when they spot a Snake, because Snake know where they are. So, well, I think escaping this area might be the better route. Trying to enter from a different perspective. FaZe already are gonna have to push to that position as well as EU with the earlier rotations. But that nade towards Pajama, he nodded. It's been too deep. Galaxy doesn't want to give it up though. I think there's a second nade coming. Is there though? He's looting the body of a fallen teammate of Grubby, of Pajama Inota. And he didn't seem to get any more nades. He's just leaving this one right now, as you can see. I think Pajama Inota gets a second chance at life, but with 40 seconds left, and him being on the faster side of the circle, he's going to have to move in.
It's going to be a little rough. SSG now, taking a lot of damage. Oh, Entis actually just below that crest, about to push up onto them. The rest of the teammates, yeah, the rest of the teammates, they are here to defend from it. And this is, I believe, only a split from Entis, a force. No, this is actually the only two remaining players of Entis.
Bad thing about this is that they're, again, another team that's on the very fast rotating side of the blue. So they're going to have to deal with this battle and make their way inside as well. In the meantime, we can see Vitality have taken down one of the guys from Kingwin, and that might be a battle that we could be looking at later on. But there's a good response from Miracle to take a monkey down.
Vitality out in 15th, actually.
Yeah, that is correct. The SSG, in the meantime, will reply to the death of one of their teammates there, and it's a good reply from D-Master. That double kill is surely a one for the Bucks. He's going to go for the first aid kit, and they're running away from where he is right now. In the meantime, though, Ghost versus Kingwin. This is going to be a fully fledged one. Kingwin have just left the fight with Vitality, and now they're forced into another battle here. Let's see how this one pans out as Vard finds a spot behind the rock while Gaxi covers him, and Larson is on the side flank.
Yeah, I really like this happening, but Profi with a... No, it's actually a nade from Turtle to drop Gaxi. Profi going for more.
Yep.
But, oh, I believe they maybe spotted Kingwin pushing up from below. They are pinched in, but they do have some nice rocks to work around. Ghost can control their angles and keep Kingwin from pushing up. Getting that first drop is going to be very helpful for them as well.
Yes, indeed. That smoke is going to come in to try attempt a res on their fallen teammate for Kingwin. In the meantime, Profi knows of the side flank happening here, so Miracle is a bit pinned down as well as Larson. There's no chance for these guys to actually get out from their current position, whilst Balak might get the res. Miracle spotted. Was he? I'm not too sure. In the meantime, he does take down Balak, so that knockout is going to have to turn up into res. In the meantime, also Turtle falls down. Profi now is going to be... It's going to have to deal with Miracle, who's been such an annoyance so far, but it's going to be Mikoi, the one that actually closes the deal there. Now they're going to have to rotate back and watch for Larson, who's making another side push, whilst Vard and Gaxi are coming in as well. Oh, it looks like Profi has been taken down, so it's just going to be Mikoi in this bit of a duel. Ghost Gaming with the potential to go down early into the game as a 13th team. Is this going to happen? Will they get the res? They know that Vard is on the top now, so Mikoi surely won't stick to the res. He does. Balak might get it, but they will push in the meantime, and that should be the GG for Ghost Gaming. Coming out on 12th, actually, as SSG comes out earlier on. And at least they got 12th. That's what you can say about this one.
SSG are actually still alive. It was another team that we happened to miss. Yeah, it was Entis earlier, and then some other team that we
Here's the circle, though. FaZe, in the meantime, has made their way inside
now
of it.
SSG are gone.
Still on the safe side of it. FaZe really good with their rotations. As you saw there, as soon as they hear someone firing, they're going to try and exit that area. They know that... Here's the thing, what FaZe do. They know that teams shoot at incoming other teams into the next circle. So as soon as they hear fire, they move to a different spot. That's very smart on their rotations. Now, Secret are under fire right now by MVP, and they're going straight into Sun Sister as well, which seem to get the frags as well on Smithy and Papaya. So they're in a dire spot now. Fiend has to move out. They're nowhere safe. MVP and Sun Sister with the Crossfire Meat House Grinder here, or Meat Grinder House.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Secret. They got to get out of this, and they have that wide open road for them to push across to get up this hill, because this is a half Stalber ending circle. Gabba finishing off Fiend, just waiting for NPX, who is the final standing member of Secret, alive, not going for the res on Smitty. Basically be a suicide mission. Wants to lie in wait for Samsung to leave him be, forget about his existence. But Samsung, they're not too far from the edge of the circle, so they could just bound themselves in, have a couple go in first. Yeah, that's Smitty fully gone. Gabba's finishing that kill off as well. You can see on the minimap, the angle is still held from Gabba onto MPX, but looking onto Stalber right now, a couple of teams getting pretty close, which is happening because of these structures here. LGG on the left, E United right in the center. And then TSM is actually not too far, right on the right, actually, as well.
We were saying earlier on that I didn't necessarily see many circles. Actually, I was talking to one of the guys from EU that I didn't see many circles ending in Stalber. This is going to make for great action. Now, you can see teams on the north side there, MVP and SST Sunsister trying to make their way in, whilst NPX, poor guy from Secret, last guy, being peppered in with shots by Gabba. I don't think he's going to be live for too long. That might be the end of Secret as well. In the meantime, on the southwest, you can see Snake coming up close to FaZe, so that might be a bit of a battle happening here. There is a beautiful aerial to show us just that. But FaZe make their way inside the circle. They can potentially gatekeep Snake from coming in. And here will come the reply from Haxetti, peppering some shots there. But it's going to be Baldi actually that takes FuzzFace down. The good reply comes in though. Baldi and 66 are both on their knees as Haxetti and Yempty really perform well, but Xiaozhu has overextended, is in the open. The last guy staying alive from Snake will be put down to rest by Yempty, and that's another team eliminated by these absolute monsters that are FaZe.
Yeah, and they can get a revive on a FuzzFace as well, and so they're going to stay 4. They have control of the southwest edge, but Kingwin heard those shots. Could be on the push down to try and clear out any wounded survivors from that fight. Potentially not aware that there's going to be another full squad of 4, and they may not want to overcommit to it. The blue is pushing in right now, and you don't necessarily want to be in the middle of a fight when the next zone reveals itself. You want to be able to allow yourself 4 rotations. They're just keeping control of the area around them. But look at the stack into Stalber. Tony V having to run away from a couple shots of his own.
Yeah, he's going to have to go for the bandage here. It's going to be his teammates that will help him out. In the meantime, that push will continue. Give him one piece of the pie, one piece of the puzzle there. And it's a good spot where EU is currently. But on the lower right-hand corner, you can see the circle closing in here. We're going to be finding out where it's going to be ending. In the meantime, SST and MVP have made their way quite close to one another. Korea versus Japan. Let's see who comes out on top. So far, SST have indeed the top side. So there's a bit of an advantage to them. But MVP don't want to take on the fight, and that's for a good reason. The circle now has shifted away from their current spot, and they're going for the choke, or where the circle strangles in least. And that's a smart way.
They don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, they want to keep SST out.
Well, no, but they also just don't want to deal with the exit of Stalber, which is why they're making this long swing onto the west side. Stalber, it's not a city in the sense, but like it's the most city-ish area we have here, so it's going to be a similar situation that we saw in the Naya game earlier. But Kingwin, now they're pushing down onto FaZe. FaZe are none the wiser. They're not looking behind themselves right now. They're currently just trying to push in. Mixie might spot them coming up, but no, Gaxi spots him first and takes him down.
This is going to be FaZe in between 2 teams. Let's see what happens here as they will try to reply against Kingwin, but there's another team coming on the other side. Let's see what happens as Sac City is going to be pushing in against OMG. Lion is going to be not knocked out. It's going to be Yempty that gets knocked out instead of Mixie as well. FaZe losing guy after guy. Lion in the meantime gets knocked out himself by FuzzFace. So FuzzFace still alive, but it's not a lot of people left for FaZe right now. I think it's just him.
Just FuzzFace.
Whilst Gaxi sets up the meat grinder there with OMG. And doesn't look like OMG are pushing in just yet. Neither are Kingwin. They're going to get back into the circle. They're going to let FuzzFace deal with 2 guys from OMG right here. 3 guys from OMG. Actually, all 4 of them are alive. So, yeah, can FuzzFace do a 1v4? Well, if anybody can, it would be him.
He doesn't want to go for it, though. He's waiting for them to just walk past him and just step over him. Silent does finish off Haxetti. They know that there is 1 player alive at least, and so they could decide to comb the area for him or just leave him be. They do have priority access into the southern edge of the circle. This is actually not a bad hiding spot for FuzzFace, but OMG are trying to scout him out slowly in the maze cover's position.
Yeah,
there we go. Lion finds him. Easy shots, easy finish.
So
FaZe are out 8th.
FaZe are out 8th spot. That's not too bad for them. Not necessarily. It's not the worst in the world. They can come back later on today, as they normally do. MVP in the meantime are going to be in a duel with SST all over again. So SST are currently trying to chase them, but this time around LGD is going to be joining in the fun. In the meantime, EU is trying to wither down the attack from TSM, and they're doing a good job so far. In the meantime, SST and MVP are trading shots. You can see 1 each from every team. It's going to be knocked out. What Break gets killed, and Vis as well. That might be the end of TSM, but in the meantime, Geist will come out of his current spot while Bogunyao is peeking. While Sabrak will take a fight onto Easy Peasy Man, but Sabrak gets spotted in by PNG, and that's going to be him down. SST is going to have to give up this fight. I think there's just 1 guy staying alive from SST right now.
This is a very good position for MVP to hold off Sun's sister, however. And then they have to go over that ridge that MVP are holding down with those shots. Crazy Sam gets taken out by LGD as well. Sun's sister, they're pushing into Stalber. They'd rather push in here instead of into MVP. But LGD are here lying in wait. BGN pushing around their... Oh, he actually gets the flick onto Gabba.
What?
Gabba had priority in that fight, but
that's
missed those shots. Yeah, the wide flank, and now Sun's sister are out. LGD still 4 alive, and they're going to be pushing on to United, but OMG now in a fight with Kingwin. Trades back and forth for both squads.
That was a quick reply from Vard, and it's going to be the one that might secure their safety in this battle. OMG don't necessarily want to peek in from the same angle, so they're going to be going for a bit of a side flank. In the meantime, it's going to be another team that comes in from the north side, as well as LGD might join into the fight, but OMG Lion has some good shots against Vard. We'll put him on his knees, and we'll finish off the frag as well right after this first aid kit. Silent holding on to the same spot there, but Mirko and Larson seem to have given up on this battle here. They're running away. They're not going to get the res on Vard, and this will be the finish for the moment for this fight. OMG will scout, but they won't find anybody here.
Yeah, Kingwin backing off. They know that OMG had high ground advantage in this fight, but OMG, they don't want to overstay their welcome because the high ground advantage also extends all the way to Stalber. United and LG in the middle of the fight. Jibber with a nice spray down. Only a couple members left of LGD, but he gets ready to return. Now it's just Vegas in a 1v2 fight. TJW and BGN.
Circle closing in, man. Vegas needs to deal with them fast. He's not going to be going in aggressive. He doesn't know where they are. But he knows he has to make his way outside from where he is. He cannot, absolutely not. He will not be going for the revive, but there comes the first knockout. Will the second one pan out? He knows now where TJW is. His teammate relayed the information as he got killed. So it's a 1v1 situation here. TJW will be using smokes to try and exit his position. As he does just that, he's going to have to wait for them to plume. And he's tanking the blue. It's a heavy tank as well. TJW with a sliver gets the first aid in, but it matters not. Vegas puts him down, and he's the champion of this battle here, but he's going to be moving in close to OMG and MVP at it right now.
Yeah, it's going to be very brutal. He's healing up right now, just popping some painkillers before he goes over that wall, but MVP has their eyes set onto OMG, but OMG are pushing up into Stalber. They know there's probably very few, if any, survivors from that area. OMG pushing up, MVP just holding on to this west side.
Yes, indeed. Silent B proning in, Lion K helping him out from close by. And this is a good side flank. Page might be a bit surprised in this fight.
Vegas right now just proning down the hill. United, they're in last place and now already top 3, and he wants to stay quiet to maybe even steal a victory away from one of these two teams.
This is the time for Vegas to come into the game, man. I was actually talking to his dad earlier. Scott, his own father, is right here supporting him because Vegas is 16 years old, so he has to be accompanied by a parent. So cool, man. I want to see him get the GG and the chicken dinner, but will it be possible? It kind of is. MVP have 3 men alive, of course.
And they have the
to.
circle. They have control of the circle right now.
Yeah, they're not doing too bad at all, but whilst this battle happens, Vegas could come in from the backside and finish off whoever's left remaining from this fight. So he knows that all he has to do is prone him right now. There's 25 seconds left to try and hope and see if MVP and OMG will go at it again. Let's see if it occurs, or if poor Vegas will be spotted himself, because right now he seems to be proning in and making his way to one of the teams. This is not the best thing to do, but he needs to check out his angles, I presume. Lion will be holding on to his angle, but at least Vegas is proned in. No helmet on his head. We'll see if it works out or not.
It's going to be a little tricky. He can peek over that hill, though, because, again, he does have the high ground here. It does give him options for visibility to spot out where he needs to move to avoid all contact until the very end. But silent now for OMG. He's pushing down, pushing into the circle right now. Ping here, going to be on the crosses. Oh, just barely spotted out. Does put the head. It gets a nice headshot to drop Lion initially.
Silent B, the last one stay alive for OMG, and while his teammate goes down, he's got no chance to do anything about it. PNG looking in the right angle, just wait to spot his enemy. There he goes down. This is the time for Vegas to move in, but unfortunately, none of the guys from MVP were lost in this battle, so it's going to be a GG and a chicken dinner for MVP 0-10 coming in with the final frag there. But I'm still happy for E United, who got the second place.
They got second with actually how many kills? 4 kills. So it's a little low, but they got second. Like, that's more than enough they need to really swing themselves up on the leaderboards right now.
That's their little boost. But here comes the victors, MVP, with the first chicken dinner for themselves in this tournament. And there you go on the screen. They're keeping cool. One of the
They're fine.
very,
Yeah,
very
that's
happy.
expected. What? You know, it's normal.
Here, come here. Look at the camera,
Just
bro.
a regular day at the office.
Hey, what's up? We are joined, of course, again by Poro, our lovely, lovely host, and Martin. Guys, what do you think about this previous game, man?
I love this. I love this Stalber ending.
All right, love it.
The Stalber ending, though.
It's
so rare to see.
Yeah, it's not we don't see it often.
Look at this.
It wasn't a perfect Stalber ending. It wasn't on Stalber.
Look at Coach is so happy, man.
Proud.
Absolutely, man. Who wouldn't be?
Absolutely.
He should be.
Yeah.
These guys coming in here, coming up strong, Korean team, trying to prove their valor in the EUs and the NAs fighting together, and they come with the chicken dinner. I'm proud of those guys myself, even though I'm not Korean at all.
Yeah.
You don't have to be proud of that performance.
I mean, look at that, 6, 7, 8 kills as well. So that's gonna. I mean, we were talking going into this game, who's gonna be the team that's gonna bump themselves up into the top 5? MVP coming out with a strong argument for themselves. But can we stop for like 2 seconds?
Yeah. Yeah.
United. United.
So close.
Mm.
So
That's what I'm
close to
talking
getting
about,
chicken dinner.
boys.
No, but talking about just the topic of MVP or any other team swinging into the top 5, Kingman was the only team to make it to the top 7. All Groovy, FaZe, Vitality, and Ghost all went out super early, and so this is going to make it even easier for those teams to climb in. Looks like the standings have been updated, and unfortunately there is still a marginal gap between 5th and 6th, but look who we have joining us. Hello.
Hello.
Look who it is.
Hi.
Hello.
Congratulations on your victory.
Congratulations.
축하드립니다.
Now breathe. Calm down.
일단 좀 마음이 안정하시고. 네.
Well, that was a fantastic performance coming out of MVP for this first game. At what point did you guys think that you had the win?
그 일단 첫 번째로 그 환상적인 플레이에 대해서 되게 축하드리고요. 어떤 시점에 이 게임을 이겼다라고 확신이 드셨는지 어떤 상황에서?
그 처음 원의 자리를 잡고 나서 이제 계속 저희 앞으로 원이 걸쳐줘서 이제 뛰어가기가 쉽게 계속 원이 떠주고 저희가 잘 깎은 그런 게 있는 것 같습니다.
So when they saw the port circle was a perfectly like a fit with their strategy, and secondly the next circles is keep they just focus into the front and then they clear the behind and just easily moved forward. That was feels they feel kind of confident.
Oh, very good job. So, anybody else?
I mean, this is a Stalber ending. A Stalber circle is really good for Yasnaya. I played Yasnaya a lot. But being able to come into Yasnaya and not play Yasnaya and get out of Yasnaya, you stayed on the edge and you stayed everywhere. I'm just thinking, were you thinking a lot about getting kills? Is kills a priority when you have the circle, or is it a position you play for?
Okay, wait a second. This
So
is actually long. Okay, let me one by one.
Can we narrow it down to like less than a
position
paragraph?
or kills? What's most important when you have the circle?
그 방금 같은 경우에 이제 그 야스나에서 시작을 해서 엔딩이 스타버로 갔잖아요. 이런 경우에 이제 뭐 여러 가지 지금 변수들이 있는데 그 라인 끝에서 조금씩 킬을 그러니까 위치를 선정하는 게 중요한지 아니면 킬을 먹으면서 킬을 더 가져가는 게 더 중요한지 일단 질문이 너무 많아서 저도 조금 헷갈리는데 일단은 그런 내용의 질문이었습니다.
킬을 많이 가져가는 게 중요하긴 한데 저희가 이게 비행기 루트상으로 보면은 S 방향이 되게 사람들이 많이 모일 그러니까 S 방향 W 이렇게 많이 모일 거를 예상하고 N 방향에 미리 자리를 빨리 잡고.
So the considering of the route of the airplane is came from the I don't remember exactly, but they know the population is very high in the south and the west. That's why they had the confidence that the point is position in the north is more important than to make the kill.
Very good. So
Beautiful.
with beautiful positioning, you get nice kills.
And indeed you do. And you come home with this high kill win to start off day 3. So we're still waiting on our leaderboards to be up. Or
No,
this is updated?
Yeah.
So, okay. MVP now. Currently in 6th place after that win and not very far out of 5th.
Taking Entus Ace actually from that position
Yeah.
and put themselves up on that scoreboard as the 6th team.
일단 오늘 경기 일단 킬을 많이 하면서 치킨을 먹어서 지금 일단 점수가 2,645점으로 6등을 차지했고 지금 5등하고 그렇게 점수 차이가 많이 안 나서 다음 경기도 잘 했으면 좋겠다.
Are you happy to be doing better than Entus Ace right now?
어제 넨투스보다 그 저기 등수가 높아서 행복하냐고 질문을 하셨습니다.
당연하죠.
That's all I knew. That was good.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to your team for now. But once again, MVP, your Game 1 winners for Day 3 with a fantastic performance.
The MVP so far.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you very much.
And good luck. Have fun in the next games.
GLHF indeed. So, guys, this is the first time we've seen a circle like this, and specifically a circle centering right on top of Stalber. Now, what is it, in your opinion, that makes these Stalber circles so unique, so interesting to play?
The mountain.
The fact that you have
outside of the obvious.
Well, no, but it does actually have such an effect because it makes it more
Yeah.
difficult to go around, and especially if you have to cross that mountain, you can't just go over the top. You have to go around one way or the other, and so rotations from one side to the next are automatically that much more difficult and that much longer to take.
So specifically, just the fact that rotations, just to get anywhere, it's for me personally, it's the lack of information that you get by being on top of Stalber. So you could be, I mean, we saw it a couple of times with a couple of different fights there. You can be within yards from a team and have no idea that they're there. I think that happened to Kingwin. I think that happened to FaZe. FaZe actually getting flanked on both sides, Ghost. So that, I think, is one of the things that makes these Stalber circles so interesting and so deadly, really.
And I mean, it's deadly from the third and the fourth circle forward because the topography of the map is it's so elevated. You can fit so many teams in there because they're just above each other, cliffs, the ridges, everything. You can just cram so many teams in there. So when we hit late game, it's just 20 kills within 2, 3, 4 minutes.
Talking about kills, let's have a look at these highlights right here. Mirka with the first frag. I think this might have been the first frag of the match. One of the first ones there. Sun Sister as well with that dirty frag on Smack when the buggy came back on him.
That was like, no, stay away. Because he couldn't move. He couldn't move to avoid the vehicle explosion. Because if he crawled out, he'd just be an open target now. So he had literally no options.
Yeah, absolutely. And there goes Kingwin as well in a bit of a battle here. This one was a doozy for him, but he came out on top. This one with Ghost. In particular, I like the push from Vard here. If he would have waited just a few more seconds, this would have been a very difficult 1v2, not 1v2, but still, for him, a 1v2. However, you see that bold move, that bold play. He pushed in, he got the frags, and he did what he had to do. Respect Vard for that.
Yeah, this is actually FaZe when they were in a position to wipe a full team just before getting flanked from both sides. So good thing for FaZe, even though they did end up finishing a little bit lower than they normally would have expected to, they still managed to get a few kills off of that and pick up a few points that way.
I'm actually 100% certain that when Kingwin, they saw on the kill feed and they heard the shots, they figured out it was FaZe, and I'm 100% sure that they pushed out of position to punish FaZe for being out of the circle because they knew a lot of pressure was going to come from that side.
Oh, look at this hold from Vegas.
Vegas,
keeping LGD
absolute machine.
at bay, making sure to finish off that kill and securing a top finish, a high finish for E United.
Yes,
See
indeed.
MVP making it to the very end with 3 up, managing to get that final kill. We've already talked to MVP, but oh dear.
A little bit of headset.
There we go, that way.
Slacks. There it is. There it is.
Higher.
There we
go.
There we go.
I got it. So I got to tell you. So of course with us now, E United Vegas, our last remaining player from the E United team to make that second place finish, coming in to day 3, feeling really good. Let's see. Didn't do much of an impact on the standings just yet.
What the hell?
But look, okay, but this is what we were talking about, right? We were talking about that having that one good game to get that snowball rolling. How are you guys feeling after that first?
We absolutely feel a lot more confident. We just feel like, we're not prepared for the meta. Now we're just adapting, and now I just feel like we really just needed that one game to prove that we really can do it. We're not just. That's not who we are. This is who we are. We're not a last place team by any means.
No.
And we just needed to overcome our issues, and now I feel like we can be strong again.
It's a bit unfortunate the fact that most of the big teams that are in the top 5 went down early, and most of the teams that are in the last positions actually finished up late. So that's why we still see just a bit of a reminder, just to make everybody understand. That's why we see United still on the last place right now. That's why Cammy had a humorous moment here. But they still have a very good chance. If you guys keep it up like this, do you think you found what you were missing the last 2 days?
Yeah, we really just weren't playing very confident. And I just feel like if we just keep playing like this, we are more consistent than the other teams, and I feel like we can do it in the last 7 games.
Talk to me about how much you love Stalber. Stalber? I mean, I'm telling these kids
I feel like
about
right
Stalber.
now I feel like right now they're loving Stalber.
The Stalber, boys.
Well, it's kind of funny because we were playing on the rocks south of Stalber, and then we didn't hear any shots for 30 seconds, and then we were like, wait, is Stalber just seriously free right now? So we just walked right in and decided to gatekeep the teams that were coming in from the east. Worked out pretty well.
Actually, it's surprising. Obviously, you guys didn't know this at the time, but Stalber wasn't actually free.
LGD,
when y'all walked right in there was 2 teams actually holding that. You had LGD on one side and TSM on the other, and somehow you guys managed to wiggle right through. But fantastic performance. Slacks and I were doing shirtless chest bumps.
Oh yeah.
And screaming over here. I don't know if you heard us. Or if that came, okay. It might not have, which is probably for the best. But so happy that United now turning it around with that second place finish, and we're expecting to see you up here again some point today or tomorrow with that first place interview.
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't want to be this guy, but
you're gonna be, but here I go being that guy.
Since we brought one of you guys on the panel, you know, second place. Now you've been on the panel again, probably another first or second place. Looks like you guys have to be on the panel as much as possible.
Yeah.
It really
that's true.
We'll do it.
builds the confidence, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, you're a free man, sir. Thank you so much. Bill, go back to your family.
Prepare Jimmo for the board table. If you get top
Go
3,
back
we'll
to
bring
his
him.
family. Speaking of that, Slacks, maybe we can actually get Scott, which is actually Vegas' dad,
Oh.
Yeah, because
okay.
Scott,
Great idea.
yeah,
I'll
Vegas
hunt
is
him.
16, right?
Isn't he right there taking a picture of his son on the table?
Yeah, there you go. Get him in here. Come here,
Get your
Scott.
ass on the table. Get over here, Papa.
This
Come
guy's
here,
got a
Papa.
this guy's got a great story of how he actually empowers his own kid to become an esports
Hey, you hit him?
player. No.
Right here.
You got to be
Hey,
right
what's up,
over there
man?
next to that degenerate.
There we go.
Now you can see where he gets it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Welcome, my friend.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me. This is great.
Yes, sir.
What a finish, huh?
That was amazing.
We
That was
needed that.
amazing.
China #1, USA 16. We need to move our way up.
Well, a strong second place finish and a strong performance from your son in coming in and managing to stay alive and hold down that position and secure that third place finish for United. How you guys feel when coming into
How's
today,
Dad
right?
feel?
Last night, did the boys ever come and talk to you? I mean, you're obviously there. You're you're actually a father. Did they kind of come to you as a father figure and just talk to you, or what did you tell them?
You know, I get a few opportunities to try to make an impact, but I really try to just empower what they're doing. I'm just a support system. I think each generation, we look at the younger generation and we say we either judge them or we empower them. So I'm not a helicopter parent. I'm here to support anything that they're doing. If they do come to me, I give them a brief overview of just experience in team sports.
Yeah.
But really, they're the experts, and they're really good, and they train, and they're very professional, and they do all the research, and they just try to do the best they can. They're a very consistent team. Their comms are amazing. They just have to kind of weather the storm. You know, we're only at halftime.
Yeah.
So, but what fascinates me is, he's 16 years old. The blue is, really dangerous at that point, and who's going to blink first?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And here's a 16-year-old, even on the broadcast you hear, hey, this is really hurts. This blue really hurts. And he waited and he waited and he waited. But as a father, it's just really amazing to see the chutzpah, that he's
The
able to bring.
patience, yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
The commitment.
Are you
Okay.
concerned at all? I mean, your son is clearly a psychopath. He's
Okay.
He's a stone cold
I
killer.
mean, he's a killer. He's a
Well,
killer.
I'm not concerned, but I did pull him aside. And let him know that listen, number 2 is not good enough. We got to come in number 1.
Yes.
Yes,
There
that's
we
what
go.
we're talking
There
about.
we go.
So we'll see how
Alright.
that works out.
Cool. Do you play at all, by the way? You play PUBG?
Yeah, I haven't been playing a lot of PUBG.
Ah.
I've been pretty busy, but I'm actually making some adjustments in our house, right?
Oh,
To
cool.
set up a better LAN, and then I'm going to get
that's
more
amazing.
involved. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Sweet.
That's
All
really
right.
cool.
It's
There
about
you
go.
it's all about
Really, really
providing
cool.
support.
Absolutely.
So, if there's fans out there, what should they do to support the boys? I mean, they're riding on this high right now.
Well,
like,
okay,
as well.
so this is what I was thinking. If we continue to get first, second, third, anywhere in the top 5 for the next few times, that's great. But if we don't, I think I might put up a Twitter pool and create an international incident. Either we hot drop the Russians for the last 6 games,
Wow.
Okay.
or we just stick to our philosophy and see if we can pull out, a top 5 or a top 10 in the whole tournament.
Okay, well, good luck with that. That's good.
Well, hey, all the best decisions are made via Twitter poll. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
You might have the help of Space Station Gaming. Maybe you can bundle up, make a gentleman's agreement to attack the Ruskies. I'm not suggesting anything.
North
Hey,
America's got to
hey,
stick together.
Hey, this is esports, and I just want to say that what's happening here is like an homage to esports, right?
Yeah.
This is a fantastic production. There's risk-taking. There's different things happening. To me, this is what esports is all about. I mean, it's pretty fascinating to see, you know, let's make it happen. Let's just do it. Let's take some of the professionalism out of it, right? Take a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we brought
No,
here.
I don't mean it in a bad way.
How dare you?
No.
I agree.
I don't mean it in a bad way, but it should be fun. There's a lot of pressure.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of commitment. It's an emerging. It's a powerful industry. There's a lot of amazing things happening.
Yeah.
But there's different ways to do things, and people that want to try to look at it a different way and provide a different excitement. I mean, the things that you're doing are just fascinating. All of you guys are really great, and it's a first-class operation, so it's been pretty awesome.
Oh, wow.
Thank you
Thank you for coming
much.
as well.
Thank
I
you
am
for
the
joining
best,
us
thank you.
here. And
Thank you. Much appreciated, Scott.
Thank you for
Okay,
inflating
you got
Slacks' ego just
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Thank you so much. All right.
All right, hey.
Be free with your team. What's up?
Pay me later.
Yes, you're welcome.
There you go.
There you go. Here's
My
now
man.
he's touching on a very good point here, Scott. He's making a very good point. And what
Absolutely.
PGL was trying to do with this production, and I'm sure that the viewers have finally caught on to what's happening here, is they're touching on the human side of the people.
Yeah.
The guys that are behind the esports, not just the game that you see there, not just digital pixels that we look at every day anyhow, but now we're trying to give you the storylines, the people that are behind it. The human Slacks, the human Martin. Well, I'm sure there's one
Not
in there.
just in-game names.
Not just the in-game boogie, not just the in-game camera, that kind of sort of stuff. So we're appreciative as well that we get to show ourselves as normal human dudes.
Well, do you have to say that now while this is happening behind you? Normal human dudes?
Normal human
Normal
dudes.
human behavior.
But
Like,
you know what?
Pumping a
Normally
shotgun.
we're cringy anyhow.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
let's show that part of ourselves.
Also, the land feeling here, I think, is very amazing.
Absolutely.
Compared to being in a big stage and you're exposed, and if you don't feel comfortable being in front of people,
Yeah, it's more of a homely environment.
It's much more of a homely environment.
Yeah.
You're
We
gonna
even
have
have
the
our-
land feel home. Yeah.
We even
Yeah,
have
my
our
ho-
Romanian mom coming to clean our map.
Exactly.
today.
At my home I have Australians yelling at me
All the
too,
time.
all the time,
Okay.
all the time.
Doing shoeies.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah. In the corner.
Well, everybody, let's take a quick break to go slam a shoey, take a bathroom break, and reconnoiter here very, very shortly for Game 2.